Right now, beneath you, there's a world bigger than every continent combined. It has no light, no warmth, no seasons. And the things that live there have been hiding from the sun for millions of years. We've mapped Mars in sharper detail than the floor of our own ocean. More people have stood on the moon than have touched the deepest point on Earth. So tonight, we're going down, past the last sunlight, past the point where your lungs would collapse and your blood would boil cold, down to where the rules of life stop making sense and something is still alive to break them. This is the journey to the bottom of the ocean. And almost nobody comes back the same. We start at the surface, where everything you've ever seen in the ocean lives. Coral, tuna, sharks, whales. 90% of all marine life, crammed into the top sliver of the sea. Sunlight punches through the water here. It's warm, it's loud, it's crowded. But watch the light as we sink. Red disappears first, then orange, then yellow. By 200 meters, only a cold blue glow remains. This is the edge, the last floor of the world you know. Step off it. They call this the Twilight Zone. The sun is a rumor here, a faint blue smear overhead that never reaches the bottom. Photosynthesis is dead, nothing grows. So everything down here has to eat or be eaten. And evolution got creative. Meet the hatchetfish. Paper thin, with eyes pointed straight up, watching for any shadow that blocks the dim light above. Its belly glows, faintly, to erase its own silhouette. It's hiding from predators by becoming invisible from below. And here's the incredible part. Down here, animals make their own light. It's called bioluminescence. And in the deep ocean, it isn't rare. It's the rule. Every flash is a sentence, a lure, a warning, a lie. The deep is having a conversation, written entirely in glowing code. But the Twilight Zone is just the waiting room. Keep sinking. The blue is almost gone now. At 1,000 meters, the last photon dies. Welcome to the Midnight Zone. There is no light here. None. Not at noon. Not in summer. Not ever. The water is just above freezing, and the pressure would crush a submarine like a soda can. Nothing should live here. And yet, this is the largest living space on the entire planet. More habitable volume than every forest, desert, and grassland combined. So what survives? Monsters. But monsters that make sense. Here's the anglerfish. She carries a glowing lure above her teeth, a tiny lantern in total darkness. Curious prey drift toward the light, straight into a mouth full of needles. And the male, he's a fraction of her size. When he finds her, he bites down and never lets go. His body fuses into hers until he's nothing but a pair of organs hanging off her side. In the Midnight Zone, even love is a survival tactic. Then there's the gulper eel, almost all mouth, a stomach that balloons to swallow prey bigger than itself. Because down here, you don't get to choose your next meal. You might not see another one for months. So when food appears, you take all of it. And the vampire squid. Its name means vampire squid from hell. But it doesn't drink blood. It hangs in a dead zone, where almost nothing else can breathe, cloaking its body in a spiked cape, and waiting. It's not a predator. It's a survivor of an environment that should be a tomb. Look closer, and the deep gets stranger. The barrel-eye fish, with a transparent head and eyes that rotate inside its own skull. The Dumbo octopus, flapping ear-like fins 2 miles down. Creatures built by a kind of evolution we almost never see. Every one of them solves the same impossible problem. How do you stay alive in cold, crushing, eternal dark, where dinner is almost never served? But we're still not at the bottom. Below the Midnight Zone, The seafloor opens into a vast, flat plain, the abyssal zone, freezing, pitch black. For a long time, scientists assumed this was a desert, a dead, empty mudfield stretching for thousands of miles. They were wrong. Tear open a crack in the seafloor, and you find hydrothermal vents, chimneys spewing water hot enough to melt lead, black with minerals from inside the earth itself. And clustered around them, cities of life, giant tube worms, taller than a person, with no mouth and no gut, ghost white crabs, mats of bacteria. Here's the part that rewrote biology. These creatures don't need the sun at all. While every other ecosystem on Earth runs on sunlight, these run on chemicals, on poison, on heat bleeding out of the planet's core. And it means life doesn't actually need a star to exist. That single discovery changed where we look for aliens. If life thrives in the crushing dark of our own ocean, fed by nothing but volcanic chemistry, then the frozen moons of Jupiter and Saturn, with oceans under their ice, just got a lot more interesting. And now, the bottom. The deepest trenches on Earth. The Hadal Zone, named after Hades, the underworld. The deepest of them all is the Mariana Trench, nearly 11 kilometers straight down. Drop Mount Everest into it, and the peak would still be more than a mile underwater. The pressure here is over 1,000 times what you feel right now, like balancing 50 jumbo jets on your fingertip. Surely nothing lives here. It does. The snailfish, soft, pink, almost translucent, thrives nearly 8 kilometers down. It has no scales, a half-formed skeleton. Its body is built to let the pressure pass straight through it, instead of fighting it. It didn't beat the deep. It agreed with it. And on the very floor of the trench, in the single most hostile place on the planet, we found something. Tiny creatures scavenging in the dark. And inside their bodies, we found something we put there. Plastic. 11 kilometers down. The deepest point on Earth. A place no sunlight has ever touched. And our pollution beat us to it. So what survives at the bottom of the ocean? Things that turned darkness into a weapon. Things that made their own light. Ate their own mates. Breathed poison. And let the crushing weight of the sea pass straight through their bodies. Life didn't just tolerate the deep. It claimed it. We spent this whole journey thinking of the deep ocean as a void. Empty, hostile, alien. But here's the truth. The warm, bright, crowded surface we call home. That's the strange part. The cold, dark, crushing deep. That's most of the planet. We've explored less than 5% of it, which means the strangest things alive on Earth, the ones that rewrite what we think life even is, are still down there, in the dark, waiting to be found. The question was never whether anything survives at the bottom of the ocean. The question is what we'll find when we finally look.